Welcome to another edition of Cover to Cover, our guide to the Sikh and Punjabi books that you need to read. Before we take a look at this week's book, Spirit-Born People by Professor Puran Singh, let's hear from another one of our viewers with their favourite book.
My favourite book is Worlds at War. I chose this book because it's exactly what I'd been looking for in the years I devoted towards studying history and civilization. It's both informing and entertaining, putting together everything in such an eloquent way. It charts humanity's progress towards an independent, free, secular and democratic society, and how the conflict between East and West that still persists to this day is not one of resources per se, but one of basic ideologies on how we humankind should live in this world.
Spirit-Born People is a work that was published in 1928 by the eminent scholar, writer and practitioner of the Sikh way of life, Professor Puran Singh, who lived at around the turn of the last century. Now, modern reprints of this book vary in style, design and format, but essentially it is the content, the subject matter, that makes it such a readable book. The book is broken down into 15 chapters, some of which are then broken down further into quite helpful sub-chapters. In totality, the book tries to cover Sikh thought, Sikh ideology from the birth of Guru Nanak right up until the modern day. Professor Puran Singh talks lovingly of some key works of Guru Nanak in Spirit-Born People, including the Sukhmani Sahib, the Asa Diwar and the Japji Sahib. He also shows his worldliness. He was quite an experienced traveller when he talks about the experiences that he has in France and Japan and how they fit in to his understanding of the Sikh way of life. Professor Puran Singh was a true poet and master wordsmith. Across the entire Spirit-Born People work, he paints vivid pictures with his words that make this a fascinating read, not just for Sikhs who want to know more about their way of life, but for anybody who's trying to discover themselves. I often liken Spirit-Born People to a song, one that has really catchy lyrics, because whether you're just starting out on the Sikh path and wanting to learn a little bit more about Guru Nanak's ideology, or whether you're reading this again for the umpteenth time, it's something that you fall in love with, and it's something that you want to carry on reading from start to finish. Professor Puran Singh was a magnificent lyricist, and it shows throughout the entire work of Spirit-Born People. We want to know what you think, so please leave us a comment below and tell us what you think of Spirit-Born People by Professor Puran Singh. Join us again on another Cover to Cover, our guide to the Sikh and Punjabi books that you need to read.